How's it going, guys? Welcome to your end of October update. It's been a long month. It feels like just yesterday I was recording the update for the end of October for you guys. And so let's jump right in. At the end of September, going into October, we were talking about getting some bikes out, the first batch of bikes. So I want to talk about what happened there so we could just address the monkey in the room and jump into all the exciting and fun stuff that we've been up to here at Zion. We air freighted enough parts for 65 bikes. You guys saw those pictures recently in the group. We had to pay a $14,000 shipping fee to air freight those ships. And this was a call that we made when we realized that the shipping containers and the global shipping crisis that's happening was probably going to prevent us from getting bikes. There's a couple of different reasons why we wanted to do this. One, we want to ship bikes out. We want you guys to start getting these bikes. We want you guys to know that these bikes are ready. And so we made the call to air freight these parts in hopes that they would land at the beginning of October so that we could have taken that time to build these bikes. That didn't happen. Obviously, you guys saw the parts just came in 1st of November. We had ordered these end of September when we had made that announcement. So even air freight's taking, up to a month of time. But anyways, we do have those parts. And so I want to start by saying that we're going to confirm those first 65 orders. So that list that I released earlier in the month, we're going to go through and arrange it by date of when those deposits were paid and when those contributions were made to Indiegogo. And those individuals will be receiving their bikes first. I'm going to put all of my energy right now into making sure that those frames and upgrades are all picked out, artwork's been received, so that we can go ahead and get our production line started on that. And then once we're able to exit that, I will be reopening the famously awaited calls. And I just want to speak on that for a second. We're going to schedule that using a scheduling app. So we'll be sending out an email. I'll be posting it in the group. And basically for everyone after those 65 that's left, you'll have the option to select a time slot that works for you. We understand some of you guys have work, some of you guys have things going on in your life. So we're going to schedule a time that works for you guys, that works for us, and then we'll be jumping on those calls. So we won't just be calling you out of nowhere. I don't know where that came from in the group. I've released our phone number, so you do have it in case we do need to reach out to you, in case we're not able to schedule that call with you and it's time sensitive. So please save the Zion number to your phone. I'll post it again in this thread. But that's basically how that's going to go. Let's talk about our production roadmap, knowing what we know now and where Zion Bike currently sits. We're still waiting on containers with the remainder of the 67 individual parts that make up CyberX. Every industry is being affected by the supply chain crisis. It's not just the e-bike industry, it's everyone. It's Walmart, it's Target, a lot of goods. Going into this holiday season is going to be a very interesting time. Even just thinking about Halloween that just passed. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that comes into the country that's sold at Halloween that, either wasn't available or, is still sitting on a shipping container somewhere. Our goal is to just continue to be transparent and just to continue to express to you guys everything that's happening, the moves that we're taking, to have you guys fully understand that, it's not a situation where, we can't build these bikes or we're understaffed. On the contrary, we've made every move possible to ensure that our facility can handle the output, that our team is trained accordingly. And so a big part of air freighting these parts in to build this first batch is to deploy these systems we've been building. We've been building what you call in this world a standard operating procedure where, a technician will take the bike after it's come back from powder coating and begin the wiring, installing components all the way up to the testing where Ali and I will be quality assurance testing the bikes, and that team will grow as we continue to grow as well. So hopefully that answers some of that for you guys. Let's talk about when we ordered these parts, right? We have some people that are just tuning in. We have some people that have been dormant in the group. And so I'm hoping that this video can address a lot of these questions that I answered on a daily basis via email. So we started crowdfunding on April 6th. That's when the majority of you guys joined us. As you guys know, that campaign was very successful. We raised $1.2 million in just a couple of days. The financials of that, however, we didn't get funds released until May 30th. When we launched and we saw that this had traction, we went into our own pockets, and by we, I mean Ali, and we went ahead and ordered parts. We ordered ample amount of controllers. Those controllers landed. As you guys saw recently, we've been supporting some of the Sauron community with these controllers because we put in such a large order, and they're also experiencing the same supply chain crisis issues. So that was one of the moves we made. We placed our orders for our custom LED panels. We spoke with tire manufacturers to get the right different kind of tire options we wanted. So yeah, we used those funds immediately to order parts. We purchased supplies to build the frames. We hired the team. We brought them in-house that, is building all these frames that some of you have seen that have come by our facility. We build those in-house. And then we built on the additions to our facility to house all of this inventory. For example, we had to build a standalone inside of our gated facility where we could house all the batteries because we had nowhere else to put them, and they have to be stored and cared for in a certain way. Even just with the parts that came in for the 65 bikes that we're going to be building in November, we immediately saw, okay, wow, this is going to take up a lot of our inventory space. A lot of these parts are big, and they take up a lot of space. Something I also wanted to touch on is we still haven't crossed the year mark since our Indiegogo funding. Now, some of you guys may have pre-ordered through our website, and we did that because we always had a goal of building 500 bikes. The total number of Indiegogo purchases, and I know that the numbering is very confusing on the list, but the total number of confirmed bikes from Indiegogo is just shy of 400. So our goal was to build 500 bikes in the same time frame that everyone's getting their bikes. There's no reason that we can't do that. And there's no reason to really get into the math even, but we're totally capable of it. And I'm hoping that some of the news I'll be sharing today will further reassure you guys and have you guys know that you're in good hands. But yeah, we still haven't crossed the year mark. A lot of Indiegogo campaigns that run, some of our notable e-bike competitors, it took them 2 to 3 years to even get bikes out to market. Some of you guys have shared in the group that you backed some of these other campaigns and that they never got a bike out. We're very proud of the fact that we were able to take our bike from prototype to a functioning production model that we were able to demo at the largest EV mobility convention here in the United States. And I think that says something about our team and about our commitment and our passion for what we're building. And we're excited to continue and to deliver these bikes. We set out to build these bikes in record time. All the promises that were made at the time that they were made was based off of the facts in front of us, right? So in the situations where we thought we'd be able to deliver a majority of our bikes in October, obviously that has come and gone and we weren't able to fulfill that promise. But at that time, we never foresaw, what's happening with the supply chain, and we never foresaw what's also happening just on the logistics side of this and on the pricing side of this. So a lot of these bikes, just if you were to receive this bike and sell it just for parts, you would be able to make twice your money back. And now that number seems to continue to increase because of the shortages and such an increased demand out in the market. A lot of these parts, the prices have gone up. So when we set out to build a lot of this and we priced out a lot of these things, we had one shipping quote that has turned into 2 shipping quotes, which has turned into us having to air freight parts in to continue to, build these bikes and deliver them to you guys. So something I just want to put out there for consideration, that we are honestly doing everything that we can to make this a reality. We don't exist or won't have longevity if we don't deliver these bikes. Obviously, you guys know that. But most importantly, we're looking to the future and to what it looks like 6 months, a year down the road. And we want to be here, for the long term. And the goal here, with whether Ali has or hasn't shared this with you guys, is to be, one of the biggest names in this industry and to expand beyond producing just electronic bikes. We want to be a big player in the EV space. And helping the world, and changing the world and how they get around. So yeah, just keep in mind that the prices of the parts and shipping have all increased during this interim. We're not passing along those costs to you guys. We're eating those costs and honoring our commitment to you guys. Production updates. So this one's really exciting for us, the entire team, and hopefully for all of you. On 11/11 of this month, we're receiving the keys to our new facility. It's an effort to future-proof Zion Bike and to increase our output since the supply chain has delayed, our timeline and where we'd like to be right now. We're taking on a 20,000 square foot facility here in San Diego that was previously utilized for manufacturing, which in simple terms means it's wired for power to run the CNC machines we're going to be bringing in there. It's going to be able to house our inventory. It's also going to give us a unique position to be able to host community rides here in San Diego, and to be able to really build a community that's beyond, selling you guys a bike. It's a community where there will be shop nights where you guys will be able to come by and we'll be able to look after your bikes and discuss upgrades, and also join you guys and go on these rides as well. So that's something we're extremely excited about. It's also a huge warehouse facility. So it has shipping bays where trucks can pull up and drop off, big amounts, instead of having to pull into our yard and having to, like literally, by hand unload. We'll have that functionality of a shipping bay where a truck can back up and a forklift can unload that truck. We will be maintaining our existing location for the time being. It'll serve as our retail showroom on Market Street here in San Diego. Also, it'll be our customization lab. It's where our laser engravers are being housed. It's where, our team will put the finishing touches on bikes. It's where you would go to pick up a bike if you're going to be picking one up locally in the upcoming months. And it's also where they would ship out of. I spoke about it at the beginning of this video, but we've been developing a streamlined assembly process and recording video content. So as we onboard even more techs to help us build these bikes, and we start building an even stronger Zion team, we want all of this to be done the right way. And so in Ali's background as an operator in business, and from mine as well, we've understood that a lot of these things can be shortcutted the same way we create, these monthly updates, leveraging video to help us facilitate and explain the exact way that things should be done at Zion. Aside from tackling this first batch, we're also going to be sending out all of the frames for powder coating. So that will start aligning as soon as we start having our scheduled calls. That way we can confirm colors, side panel options, and all your upgrades, but most importantly, getting those powder coat colors. That way we can drop all these bikes off in batch. And hopefully around that time, we'll also be taking keys to our new facility, which allows us more space to stage everyone's orders. That way, the only missing component at that point is when those parts are coming in. Our goal, once we have set up our new production lab and first run of bikes, is to be able to produce 200 bikes a month. We don't see why that's not realistic. In a week, we were able to build 4 bikes, with our bare bones team of the guys that, have been working on it from its inception. We'll get through these 65 bikes, get our team trained on exactly how we want to do things. We'll address any bottlenecks that show up in that time period. And there's no reason why we can't start reaching numbers of 200 bikes a month. Our ability we shared with you guys before to produce frames used to be like 50 a week, and now it's 50 a day. We've already created more frames than we actually have orders for. And there's, obviously some changes coming to the subframe, and all of those things are being done at a machine shop with CNC machines. So we're able to produce them at a higher rate, which will all happen in-house at the new facility down the road. Some general updates. We heard your feedback regarding the headlight assembly. I know you guys weren't a huge fan. I'm a designer myself, so after daily riding the Zion bike, taking a look at it, photographing it, you get to really know the subject. I agree with you guys, and so we've made changes with our engineers already. What we're going to be doing, when you're looking at the headlight assembly from the side, it seems really elongated this way vertically. And so we're going to be reducing it by about 1 inch. Also, there's going to be some changes happening at the top so that the display can be centered and that your assist level settings can be there, supported. And then the Bluetooth controller will also go up there, which has built-in USB that you can run a cable to cleanly through the handlebars from that headlight assembly to charge your phone if that's something you wish to do. Also, another exciting update. Ali and I have been, really stress testing the bikes. And this was something that we were kind of working on beforehand and just hadn't really announced it. We thought some of you guys might start to pick up on it just because, the drivetrain assembly was getting bigger and we had a bigger bash guard. And so there's actually a reason for this. With our partners that we've been developing our own motor that we're coining the Zion drivetrain, we've increased the size of the motor. The motor will now be capable of 15 kilowatts. And that's something that, we're excited to give you guys from just like longevity, right? For what the motor will be able to handle, but also for those of you that pre-ordered bigger controllers that have plans to either build or source your own batteries down the road to truly open up Zion to a potential that probably no one else out there unless they're like a $10,000 or $15,000 bike is doing. We are super excited about that. I think myself personally, because I'm always out there pushing the bike on a daily basis, trying to see, how we can make it faster, how we can make it more responsive. The swing arm, Ali shared a rendering of. It's been redesigned, like I just mentioned, to house the bigger motor, also to shave some weight. So a lot of these things that we've been adding have increased weight a little bit, and we wanted to stay true to our promise of developing a bike that was in that range. So the new swing arm has some weight savings. It has increased stiffness, and also a common problem that we were running into, especially after we went to electrify, is we needed to reinvent the way that the motor was tensioned and the way that the back wheel was tensioned. So we've added a motor tensioner built into that subframe that helps tension the frame so that way the chain drive and everything aligns perfectly. Same thing goes for the wheels, as we have different kind of wheels, and as you guys will have the options to change those wheels down the road. We wanted to offer you guys a thought-out solution that just made sense, and we couldn't be more excited for the new swing arm upgrade. We currently have a few of those being produced that will powder coat and slap onto the production model tester bikes that you guys have seen us riding around on and creating content with, and we'll be sharing that with you guys real soon. For the guys receiving their new bikes here, that are in that first batch of 65 bikes, that will obviously come included, as well as the new improved headlight assembly. I've mentioned to you guys, I haven't been able to create a lot of content just yet because we're really focusing on serving you guys first. Creating content right now is one of the things that's on my plate, as well as a lot of other things. So I've started playing around. We ordered a new GoPro camera. And it's just one of those things where as we move through some of these next few weeks and steps, I'll be able to dedicate more time to creating that POV content that you guys have been asking for. And the reason I bring it up is because I've been daily driving, a variation of our bikes on off-road tires, street tires, the hybrid enduro tires, BAC 2000, BAC 4000, BAC 8000, and putting it through its steps, full power, commute. We're starting to do some range testing to kind of give you guys a better idea. But keep in mind that range is all going to be affected by how much you weigh, the terrain you're riding, and the speed that you're riding at. Someone like me that comes from the sport bike world, I literally drive a CyberX like it's a little dirt bike. I'm always in the highest settings, trying to push the most power out of the bike, trying to lean the bike as much as I can into the turns. And on the commute from Zion headquarters to where I live here in San Diego, there's a lot of interesting grids that have been excellent in being able to test our tune and making sure that nothing's overheating, that it can handle the power. And so we're going to be flushing that out. That's actually one of my high-level priorities right now with Ali. Things such as throttle response, the power assist levels. We've introduced the walk mode that we've mentioned before, and I'll be working on a little video to show you guys how that works. Essentially, just to kind of touch on it a little bit, instead of having to rip the throttle to go up a ramp to put it on your truck, or maybe you have stairs in your apartment building, there will be an option to press and hold down on one of the buttons on the controller, and it will operate at a very slow pace, just enough to kind of get you over anything. And this is a popular thing happening in the e-bike space now. So yeah, we're going to continue to flush the tune out over the next 2 weeks so that it's stable and ready to ship out with the first bikes. And we're really excited about that. Another interesting update for you guys is we recognize the importance of all of you supporting us and being incredibly patient with us. We know a lot of you guys have missed your season of riding if you're out towards the east because it gets colder there. And, we're truly apologetic for that. Obviously, this is something that was out of our control, but we wanted to commemorate this and to commemorate your support. And so the first 500 bikes are going to be shipping out with a founder tag. There will be a tag on the bike, and we'll be releasing more details on that soon that truly just showcases, our appreciation for you guys and in some level, down the road, hopefully adds some sort of rarity factor to those first 500 bikes that we've created. Just want to say thank you for your patience and support. Once we reach out and confirm those first orders with the first 65 guys that are going to be receiving bikes end of November, I will be opening up our scheduling. You guys are always more than welcome to email us, tag us. Just please don't send me a private message on Facebook. I entertain a lot of you guys on there because at the end of the day, customer service is our priority here at Zion. But it is my personal Facebook, and so it gets mixed in with friends and family, and a lot of the time it gets filtered into a section that says message requests, and it's just not the only place that I participate. So I just want to make sure that you guys are using the right channels to reach us. Email's the best way. Our company phone number is a great way to reach us. We'll call you back even if we don't pick it up right away, because we're in the middle of something. And that's pretty much it. Moving forward, I'm going to be trying to integrate these updates into the blog so that they don't get buried in our Facebook group, as well as having some sort of a like notes or highlights transcript for some of you guys that don't want to consume a video in this length. But thanks, guys. We really appreciate all your support.